Okay, so welcome to this part two. I'm talking about how to get the best out of your live recordings, live recording sessions, live recording concerts. So I ended the first part by talking about how you need to have proper rehearsals. That's very, very key. Rehearse with everyone that would work on that day. So at the beginning of those rehearsals, you are basically trying to learn the songs, learn the parts, and all of that. If you can afford it, and I think you should try to have the musicians rehearse on their own. Okay. Now I'm saying that because that's a professional thing to do. But there are times that you have independent artists working with limited budget. They can't afford to have musicians rehearse on their own because at times maybe they have to pay for the musicians coming, pay for a studio space and all that. And let's just be realistic. Not everybody can actually afford that. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, I'm going to try and match the professional thing to do and the realistic thing to do, especially for a lot of independent artists. When I did my live recording, my first ever live recording, I didn't have all of those resources to be able to, that's like 11 years ago. Okay. I couldn't afford to do all of that. So, but what I did was, because I'm a music director and a music arranger, I'd already done all the proper arrangements. I'd already put everything in place. Okay, so I simply just, gave everybody what they needed to play. I got the best hands together. So while we're rehearsing, I was telling them what to play. They were getting it. It moved fast. Okay, so you want to ensure that you find out what's best for you as well, what you can do, what you can afford to do. Okay, so get the best hands. I'm telling you, get the best hands. Get the best hands for your live recordings. Get the best. I can't overemphasize that. It saves a lot of stress. Whatever you think that you are saving in terms of using any available hand, trust me, by the time that project ends, you will spend more. It will cost you more. I'm telling you. Let's say using the best hand, you feel like these things will cost me 100k. Let me save it. If I don't use that particular best hand, I've just spent 30k. Trust me. By the time you are done, you will spend 200. That's even with a lot of mental, psychological, and emotional torture. Okay, I don't want to go into all of that. So please take it from somebody who has done it personally, who has also, produced, directed projects for others. It's important to get the best hands for everything. Now, so you decided on also the space you want to use. Okay, so if you're using a studio, are you using a hall? Decide on all of that. Now, depending on that space, you also need, what your producer will do is, your producer is producing the entire project. So if you can have one person to direct, produce the audio, produce the entire project, fine. If not, you can separate it. Maybe somebody is producing the audio, somebody is producing the project. Now, what's the work of the producer of the project? That person is overseeing how the entire recording is going to be, the experience people will have in that place. So that person, under that person, now you have the audio, you have the lights, you have the camera, you have the ambience, you have everything. So what the people that will be in the building on that day will experience, and also what the people that will consume your project by the time it's done, what they will also experience, is dependent on this particular project producer or project manager, whatever name you want to call it. So you want someone, because you have the idea, so you want someone else to take it, run with it. You want to focus as an artist, you want to focus solely on delivering on that day. You want to focus on your music delivery, on your artistry. Focus on your hard leads, focus on what you perform, focus on other things, you want to focus on those things. You don't want to start bothering, okay, what's the camera angle? This is the angle. So you explain the concept of everything you want to do to the people you're working with, the director, the producers, and all of that. Let them now create templates. Let them work with everybody. Let them be able to direct everybody and say, okay, you know what? This particular song, at this time, the intro is starting with the guitar. So camera one, focus on the guitar. At this one, by the time we get to the bridge, it is going to be the sax. Focus on, all of those things. You want to take all of that burden off you. That's what your producer is going to do. So all of these things have to be mapped out. You can see the details in live recording now. Those things have to be mapped out, because I mean, you see some videos where they are singing. It is the lead guitar that is playing. The camera is showing us sax, because somehow funny, the person on the camera either doesn't know what's coming next, or doesn't know the difference between the sound of a sax and that of a guitar. No, it may sound funny to you, but we have seen these things before. So you want to know. So if Private there's a solo, I don't know if you know the song by Donald McClurkin, "Great Is Your Mercy Towards Me." They had all the backups. It take like a solo, a freestyle. So imagine if you have like 10 people lining up behind the lead singer. Now, and it's a live recording concert. And let's say the first person that will take the solo is the person in the middle. The second person is at the rear end. Now, you want the camera guys to understand that sequence so that they will know who to zoom in on. Right, so all of those things are the things you plan as you are rehearsing. Those things are being scripted. Okay, so based on the volume of work and the space, your producer is damning, okay, so how many cameras are we using? Are we using a drone? Are we using what? All of those things. What kind of lights are we going to use? Depending on the space, what kind of lights are we using? Who is going to handle your multi-tracking on that day? Hey, this one is very, very important. Don't just bring your favorite sound engineer. Don't just bring the sound engineer from your church. Hey, that somebody is a good sound engineer does not mean they can handle live recordings. And that's not downgrading anybody. It's just the reality of it. That somebody is a good studio engineer doesn't mean they can handle live recordings. It's a totally different thing. So you want to ensure that you get someone that has handled it before and check out their works. Don't just take their word for it. Check out what they've done before. Have they handled live recordings before? Was it that they handled the house? Were they behind the console? All of those things you want to, now depending on the space you are using. If you're using a big space, some live recordings have like a studio console. Somebody is recording in the studio, somebody is recording in the house. There's so many ways to go about it. But let me just assume right now that you are starting small and you're not doing all of those things. So you have just one person recording. You may actually, sometimes it's good to have two recording sources at the same time, so that in case something happens to one, the other one is safe. So that means that you have like two consoles, you have like two maybe two computers, two laptops, whatever, connected, so that while you are recording on this one, you are recording on that other one too, so that at the end of the day you have two files. So in case there's one that this happened to it, one is safe. But please get a sound engineer, a live recording engineer that understands how to handle live recordings. Okay, now, so let's say that we have gone through all the necessary things. You've done your quality rehearsals, you've done your team, you prepared your dress, your costume as well. I know Nigerians are big on costume. You see one live recording, they only did 4 rehearsals, but they are wearing 5 costumes. Nigerians love costumes. But then, please, it's not about your dress. We will trip for your dress, but please, the artistry, the music is very, very important. Okay, so I'm not going to put emphasis on that, but then give attention to all of those things. Give attention to the welfare of your team as well. Depending on what you are doing, okay, where are people coming from, your team that work with you, what are they going to, eat, and all of those things, give attention to those things. I mean, I've done live recordings before where, sometimes if you don't give attention to it at the beginning, at the end of the day, you discover that you spent money on everything except that. I mean, I've made that mistake before, where by the time we're doing the entire project, we had already spent everything. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even remember, some people are maybe because I'm a guy, maybe, but wow, we didn't even plan for this. Even me, I was just about, let's get this done. I didn't even eat. I didn't bother whether I had something to eat or not. But you want to ensure you have all of those things. So you may want to have somebody to handle the welfare for you, somebody to handle those things. So the person will tell you, okay, we need to get water, we need to get drinks, we need to get this, and you get all of those things sorted. Okay, if you are doing a concert, then you also want publicity. But most importantly, you want to ensure that you have your own people in the building. Don't expect random people though. So curate your own audience. So even though you are doing a concert and you're looking for publicity, you're doing publicity, find people that you know that these ones, they will come. So maybe you have personal invites to some people, your church members, your choir members, your friends, colleagues at work, family members, those ones. Then do general, do social media sponsored ads, all of those things. But if you just post on social media and you see 3,000 likes, it doesn't mean 3,000 people will come on that day. They just like, everybody likes good things. They like that you are doing something nice. So please ensure you tighten that up and don't spend so much on publicity that you now spend less on the ambience, the camera, because I've seen those things. People, you see beautiful pictures, beautiful content online, but then you come to the event on that day and things are shabbily done. So that's a mistake a lot of people make as well. So please don't make that mistake. Okay. So now it's now D-Day. Now it's important that you finish up your rehearsals at least 2 weeks. Let's say things are so terrible a week before the recording. You rehearsing the night into your live recording is not really the best, because you put yourself under pressure, tension, strain on your voice. You are not resting, eye bags, all of those things. You want to avoid that. So you want to ensure that you try to finish up your rehearsals on time so that you can rest. Of course, not too long from the recording as well, so that you won't lose the momentum. People won't forget their parts or not. Some people are very funny. Once it takes time before they do something, they just forget it. So you want to ensure that the time is not too far apart as well, from when you ended rehearsals to when you are doing your final recording. So you get that sorted. Rehearse well, plan ahead. Everything is set. Your producer has prepared it all. You have the right gadgets. Now, one advantage of that recording is the visuals. So we want to ensure that the things that we are going to see on that day, both live and in the video, they are things that are not an eyesore. They are worthy of being seen. So I know that you can. I know the Spirit of God can move with your old school Yamaha 1000, but I don't think anybody right now in this day and time wants to see that. So please, you want to get the latest gadgets. You want to ensure that the drums you are using, even if they are not new, they are not drums that are patched, not drums that they are using a cable to hold the hi-hats. The drumsticks is not broken drumsticks. The vellum of the thumb, of the snare, of those things, they are, you replace them. They are brand new. They are well tuned. Get someone professional to tune your drums for you based on the kind of songs you want to do. You want to ensure that your guitars on that day, you have spare strings, just in case you are doing multiple songs and a string cuts. You are not, you can easily fix that same day. You have also spare drumsticks. You have spare sustain pedal. You have spare extension boxes. See, I've seen concert happen where one extension box will just blow and we start looking for extension box everywhere. You have all of those things. You have adapters for the instrument in case one just misbehaves on that day. Okay, you're also getting the best of gadgets there. Most recordings these days, you see a Nord, you see a Montage, you see a Hammond organ, whatever it is. Just make sure that there are things that are good to be seen and it will do well for your brand. Okay, now it's important that the audio on the stage and in the on that day is not too loud. So this is where a lot of musicians and singers who are used to loud sounds will have issues. So let them get their in-ear monitors. So get them their in-ear monitors, connect to their P16s, whatever you want to use that works for you, that you can afford, your P2s, whatever. Just ensure that somebody is not playing and say, I can't hear myself, because once the sound on stage is too loud and they are bleeding into each other, you're going to have issues when you are doing your post-production. So it's important that the sound on stage is minimum, barest minimum. Okay, if you can afford it, let the singers also use in-ear monitors. Okay, but if you can't, just make sure that while they're on stage, the sound coming from their monitors on stage is not too loud to overbleed into their mics. Then the drums, everybody, they are using in-ear monitors, the musicians especially, so that they can hear the lead singer, they can hear the cues, they can hear the intros, all of those things coordinated. Okay, depending on the kind of music you're doing, you may want to have maybe a conductor for the musicians or for everybody. It depends. Okay, depends on so many things. There's no straight rule to that one, but at least it's not like the conductor has to be telling them, oh yeah, we are singing this. They know. It's just like put everybody in check. Okay, so you have that sorted. When you are not having on the D-Day, make sure that nobody is recording content to post online. Now, because you are recording your songs, you don't want to ensure that people are not recording with their phones and posting it on that. People love creating content. Anything that happens, they are bringing out their phones. So let them know. So let that be a coordinator on the day of the recording. Now, if you are doing a concert now, like, okay, guys, so please don't take selfies, don't do videos, because these songs are original songs and you don't want them to go out there before the final product is released. People are very funny. They will steal your song in the name of Jesus. Somebody will just hear they've posted it, and then the person will go to the studio, create something out of it, and the person will still be speaking in tongues over a stolen product. So please don't make yourself a victim. All right, so tell people that, you know what, the camera, the songs will be out. They can go outside of the building and take their selfies or do their videos, but while they are in the hall and the songs are being performed, please, nobody is recording songs. So have maybe some protocol people move around while the songs are going. When they see anybody recording, tell them no, don't record. Okay, so that's very important. Now understand that it's possible that when you're doing a live recording concert, you start a song and then maybe somewhere the intro, there's a mess up. It's okay to start again. Yeah. So that's the difference between just an ordinary praise night and a live recording concert. It's okay to start again. Yes, we don't want to now be starting 17 times, but it's perfectly okay. So let your audience know that it's a taping. And so if we start and maybe there's a mistake in the intro or somewhere even in the middle, and we feel like this thing, we can't overlook it, you know, and maybe somebody just tripped on the cable and the loop stopped or something happened, or maybe somewhere in the recording cubicle, they discovered that they didn't press record. Don't be sad. I know that thing can be like, or more, and see this thing that we just did. No. You see, just take it again. Many times, in fact, I don't want to say all times. I won't be wrong if I say all time, but let me just say most of the times, the new recording you are doing is always better than the one that you felt was good, that you are angry that why didn't they record it, or why was there a mess up, you know, why did the kick remove or something. You want, it's always better. So calm down, relax. Okay, calm down and relax. So you have your visuals sorted out. Make sure that, you know, you have good cameras, good people that can, not people that, now there are some people that can do weddings and do live recording, but some people are only good for events. They can't handle live recording concerts. So please, I'm very particular about people that can handle live recording concerts. Even some musicians cannot handle live recording concerts because they play like they are shedding. They play something else in rehearsal, in the event they are playing something else. We can't afford that. Okay, we can't afford that. You have to stick to the script. You can't suddenly start having new ideas that will now throw the old band off balance because you got an inspiration on stage. No, we can't afford that. Keep your inspiration to me when you're doing post-production. But please, let us do what we rehearsed. Okay? So the recording is done. You know, there are many things around events. You know, we can talk about that. I don't want to go into all of that right now. So you have your night done, you record your songs, and then you go for your post-production. Now, there are different ways to go about it. You can do a pre-recording. That is, you've recorded vocals and even instruments before the live recording, so that when you are recording on that day, the stems you are playing have those stems have the pre-produced sounds, and it's full. So when you are done with your recording that night or that day, whenever you do your live recording, you just go to the studio to mix straight. That's always good. It's always the best. But in case you can't afford that, then maybe after you've done the concert, after you've done the recording, then you now do a post-production, overdubs of whatever you need to overdub on that, on, you know, the voice and all that. You bring them to the studio, you create it. Now, you are not replacing those things. You're just adding it to make it fuller. And I've seen recordings where they didn't even do overdubs, they just used what was recorded live, amplified it, mixed it, and it turned out well. So it depends on your producer. Listen to what you have, listen to your takes, and then take the best decision. Now, I'm sure that I've covered a lot, even though I didn't cover everything, but I'm sure you've learned some things from this. Now, I can help you if you're having a live recording. MAD Music City, we have the Center Stage Music, under which we handle live recording projects for artists. Trust me, you can't go wrong with us. We help you from your songwriting. We can help you to write the songs you want, to interpret your sound, to getting the team that you want, to handle the entire process. Just come as you are and come and sing and perform. We get everything sorted for you. So reach out to me and let's talk about your next project. Let's get your sound to the world. Okay, so this is me, Tommy Tush. They call me the tall MD with the world music, and I'm going to be coming to you on another episode teaching you something entirely different on these music auto sessions. God bless you. God bless your ministry, your artistry, and your sound. Bye.
They shine so bright. The medieval groove, a house beats flow.